and today being a Thursday, it is Have Your Say Thursday. And like the name implies, we're just going to have one topic that we're going to deliberate on. But the most important part about today's edition is when we'll get to the point where you call in and have your say as regard the topic of discourse today. I remain Morpheus Major Idoko. I have my colleagues with me today in the studio. To my left, I have Ango Bali. Ango, welcome.
Thank you, Morpheus, for having me.
And also, I have Jacqueline Adebicha. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so today we wouldn't waste any time and we'll just get straight into the business of today. It is no news that Kaduna in particular, we've been through certain things, and the last few days has shown us another dimension of level of activities that can happen here in Kaduna. Sometime on Monday, we witnessed the NLC and TEC when they commenced a 1 week, 5 days actually, warning strike that resulted in a total lockdown or shutdown of electricity, airports, schools, and so on in the states. Now, these unions were opposed to the plan of the state government sacking thousands of workers. Fortunately for us, yesterday, due to the intervention of the federal government, the warning strike was called off by the NLC because what we hear is there is supposed to be a meeting between the federal government, the Kaduna state government, as well as the NLC. There's so many questions and there's so many views and perspectives as concerns this whole issue on ground. And I would like to find out from, let's start off with Ango, since you're the person with the popular opinion. Yeah. What's the situation of things, and how do you see this whole situation right now? Now that the warning strike has been called off, in most parts of Kaduna, I'm sure that electricity has been restored. So that is a starting point. For you, what do you have to say?
Yeah, thank you, Morpheus, for giving me the first shot. What I'll be talking today is not my opinion, let alone popular opinion.
Okay.
But I'll be relaying what I cover on the field.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, I cover the rally. So I'll be talking from the field point of review. Okay. Yeah, what I reported, or what I saw.
Please, let's hear.
I reported.
Yes.
Now, I want to, first of all, lay a background. What Governor Erufai is doing, the sacking of workers in the state, is part of his own, or the reform he has embarked on in giving the state a new face, both infrastructural, institutional, level, and all that. It is the part of the institutions that is bringing about the sacking of the workers. So, in that background, I want to say Erufai is one of the reformers that I've seen and I admire.
Okay.
Yes, and in terms of providing infrastructure, Erufai has been doing well, because I've gone around the town, I've gone around Kaduna, some part of the areas where this work are taking place. I've seen them myself. So it's not that I've heard it, I've seen them myself, and I've reported some. So he has been doing well. So far, of course, he's serving for counting 6 years. The highest person that I've served in this state is 8 years, that's Governor Ahmed Makarfi. So for the past 6 years, at least I can give him above pass mark.
Above pass?
Yes, above pass.
Oh, okay.
He's doing well.
Okay.
Quite all right. However, in carrying out reform, he should be able to inject human face. For example, the institutional reform. One ministry, the Ministry of Information, has been deleted or delisted. How we just imagine you have a federal ministry without Ministry of Information? I mean, a federal cabinet without Ministry of Information, where we get information. Information is said to be power. So where you get information, how will you have a government without Ministry of Information? That's part of the casualties of the reform that, that is affected in his own reform. Now, coming to the SAC workers.
Okay.
I've made this underlying word, reforms should be carried out with human face.
Okay.
So what is being in contention or the crux of the matter? You have, let's talk issues and talk facts. A total of 37,470 workers have been sacked. Now let's start listing them one by one. In 2017, according to labor figures, 21,770 teachers were sacked using competency tests. We have 5,000 local government workers were sacked using executive order. We have 3,000 state workers were sacked, making a total of 29,770 workers in 2017. Now, in 2021, 4,000 suburb workers were sacked, 2,000 local government were sacked, and then 1,700 primary health care workers were sacked. That's the last one, which prompted this strike. And the grounds with the label is that the governor did not follow due process in sacking these people. And they quoted, before then, part of the thing that informed the strike, 11,000 workers are equally have been penciled down. They are on the pipeline of being sacked. So they are trying to preempt. The way it goes the way of the 29,000 workers that have been sacked in 2017 and 4,700 in April 2021. So if they don't take action the same way to the 11,000 that are being planned on the pipeline to
would also be out of job.
Yes, will be affected. So hence the strike action. Now, in doing so, they quoted the labor laws which the governor violated. According to them, according to the Labor Act of 2005, Section 11 and Section 20 state that if you want to sack people either for redundancy, whatever, now they are not prepared to leave the job. You are supposed to engage labor to sit down on the negotiation table to discuss how they'll manage their sacking. If they are moving out, you give them their sack letter with the right hand, and the left hand you hand over their own check so that they go and manage their life. So the government did not do this. And according to the sack letter of April 2021, it stated that your entitlement will be paid in due course. What is that due course? From the experience of 2017, most of the SAG workers have not yet received their full entitlement up to now. So if you are adding, you've added 4,000 and another 11,000 are on the pipeline of being sacked, what will happen to them?
Do we have a percentage of those who have been able to receive their entitlements? For those from 2017, are there any numbers that suggest?
In fact, according to label, there seems to be confusion even in government. So they could not get exact figure. Because even as per this last month's April salary, some local government, that's why they are crying that local government, also the state has reverted to 18,000. A last chunk of the local government staff, Chukun, Kajuru, and one other local government, they mentioned 3 local government, they receive 18,000 naira instead of the 30,000 naira. So, and some have not yet received their salary. I think according to them, government had issues in the course of competition because they are trying to get the figures of these 11,000 that are supposed to go out. Okay. In the course of that confusion, it affected the competition of the April salary. Some got 18,000, while some got half salary, something like that. So this is the issue. So even Labour said they cannot get the exact figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me move over to Jacqueline.
So these are the issues on ground. Okay. So the main issue is that they want to sit with their own government and discuss the plight of the worker because they are the body that are supposed to protect the interests of workers in the state. But meanwhile, government is not ready to sit down.
And
with them.
they didn't go by the laid down rules.
Yes, and government is not ready to sit down with them.
Okay.
Hence, they call for the warning strike.
So, Jacqueline, I'd like to hear from you. Governor Madam Nasser El-Rufai, he stated it right from inception that he isn't going back on his move in terms of right-sizing the people and how things have played out. But for you, I know before we came on air, we pointed out a lot of things. But one of the reasons that the governor put out there, which is like the major reason, is that about 90% of the state allocation goes to these people, and he hasn't necessarily seen results. Ango said the reforms are good, but it would be nicer if those reforms have a human face. Please, would like to hear from you. What's your take on this whole situation on ground here in Kaduna?
Okay. The way I see it, Ango and I are looking at... There are actually two different discussions that we're trying to have at once.
Okay.
Reforms taking place, and then how they are taking place. So, if we're going to have this conversation, we would have to, compartmentalize it.
Okay.
Let me quickly say about whether or not it was done the right way. It has become a matter of he said, she said. Because I can tell you that the government actually said that they did sit down with some representatives of the union. The union says that nothing like that ever took place. Now, except for being a fly on the wall on the day that happened, there is no way that I can really, begin to pronounce on that right now. Because there are many things that could play out that could make, either one of them say this is how this thing is, or for the other one to counteract what the other has said. So I don't want to go into that because we know what the law says. The law says that you should sit down with the people, with stakeholders, before such things are carried out on a massive scale. And no one is above the law. So I don't even think that this should be up for debate. But if indeed there was, some funny or shady business, I just feel that this is something that should be resolved. For me, the nitty-gritty, the main thing is this. Because what I've heard is a lot of people talking about the unfairness of the reform. The fact that, no, after all, we had governments before this one led by Malam Nasser, and they were able to carry along the workers that he is saying that they cannot handle right now. So if he cannot do the same thing or, manage the way other administrations had managed before him, he should, say he's unable to or incapable and allow someone else do this. I have always been driven by facts. It's difficult sometimes, especially when you are involved, to divorce yourself from emotions
and be objective.
So I would give anyone who is going through this or the fear of being cut off that it's not easy, especially in these times. But what is the truth is what is the truth.
Very true.
We went looking, and what we found, just the same way that Ango was able to reel out those who have been sacked. Now, in the month of March, the government of Kaduna State brought out figures, and I expect that we operate open government partnership, in Kaduna State.
Yes.
So I know that there are civil society organizations that are looking into these numbers to ensure that it is correct. What the government has brought out is correct. So this also, in the coming days, we probably will be hearing about it if it is not true. In the month of March, this government came out to say, look, in our employ, we have 3.395,322,487 billion. Yes, civil servants in Kaduna State.
Billion.
Here is the number, the total number
In Kaduna?
of employees, yes.
In Kaduna?
Yes, and then
No, take the figure. It cannot be billion.
we have about 10 billion people in Kaduna State. That is the official, or should I say
10
the
million.
You say million,
estimated.
no, you say million.
10 million.
Yes,
Sorry,
you
not
are saying billion.
sorry.
Money,
My
you understand.
Yes.
Money talk.
So three. Sorry, I don't know where my billion came into, but bottom line is that we have about 1%, or no, about 1 point something percent of our population are civil servants, right? Now, the Kaduna State government says that the salaries of our civil servants, as Ango you can see, we're looking at this together, isn't it? Now, the salaries of our civil servants in this state, and also that of political appointees, you can see that we have, for the political appointees, we have 259
Yes.
million.
Yeah, these figures are in the public there. We've seen them.
You've seen them?
Yes,
No,
we've seen
just so that those who are listening,
Yeah, right,
have
yeah.
clarity.
yes, should have clarity
Right.
on. But the salaries of the civil servants, how much is it?
3,136,000,000.
About 3 billion plus.
Yeah, 3 billion plus.
About 3 billion.
Plus.
3 billion plus.
Okay. So I want us to just do quick maths. And since it's not my strong forte, you're going to help me here. The Kaduna State government came out to say that, in the year 2020, they were able to raise 50 billion.
Yes.
Internally generated
Generated
revenue,
revenue,
right?
yes.
So let's keep that number to one side, and then go to the NBS. That's our National Bureau
For
for Statistics. Particularly, I'm particular about the month of March, because that was, that month was what the state government brought out numbers for. And I went to check. In the month of March, Kaduna State received 5.6 billion. Okay? They received 5.6 billion as federal allocation. Out of that 5.6 billion, 4.37 went to local government.
For 5.6 billion.
No, 4.
That's the
Kaduna
initial.
received 5.6.
Okay.
Local government, let's just even say 4.1. Since it's 4.37, let's say 4.1 or even 4 billion.
4 billion.
That is what our local government received.
Okay.
Now, out of the 5.6, out of the 5.6 that was coming to Kaduna State, 4.1 went to local government. Out of that, we had to pay back 419 million. For the sake of rounding up the math, let's say 420 million from the loans that we had collected, deductions that were made at federal level was about 420 million that was taken. Can you do the math? Because when we did that math out there, we came to about 1.3
Left.
left.
Which isn't enough to even
1.3
cater.
billion left.
Which isn't even enough to cater for
the civil servant salary. If that was the only money we were depending on, we wouldn't have even been able to pay civil servants. But the state government said they were able to raise 50 billion
Could that be when
in 2020.
Could that
I'm
be
just
when?
assuming. So if you take 50 billion and let's get an approximate of what they were making per month, you now get to about 4 point something billion
per month.
If you add that 4 point something billion to the 1.3 that is remaining, that is where we come back again to about 5 point something billion.
Does that cover?
Out of the
civil
5 point
servants?
something, we're taking 3.2, approximately
For civil
3.2 for civil servants. What is remaining?
And there's so many other departments to address.
We have our
There's health,
pensioners.
the security, the pensioners.
The pensioners, according to them in March, the pensioners went home with about 478 million. Or let's say, for rounding it up, because there's small numbers behind, 479 million was what was given to pensioners.
Welcome back to Prespectives, coming to you live on the Victoria side of life on the radio in Victoria FM 98.9. We're here just trying to analyze the the trail of events that have happened here in Kaduna as regards the NLC versus the Kaduna State government. We've seen NLC, they went on strike, and fortunately for us, they suspended their strike yesterday. Now, we're at a point, before we went on this break, Jacqueline, you asked a question. You tried to put it out there. Because, like you said at the beginning of the show, this is a he say, she say situation. The Kaduna State government, they have their version, and it contradicts what the NLC has. And the same thing, vice versa. NLC, what they have to say, it contradicts what the Kaduna State government is. So you put out a question, which is something that I would like to see if we can get an answer. Let's attempt. To get an answer.
Really? Yes, I said angle submission. Because he followed the events, he was there at the rally covering it, and he said that the NLC, I mean the unionists said, look, they referred them to the head of service, and they felt that was not. They shouldn't have been having those conversations at that level, and I'm asking why not? As head of programs here, if you want to have a program on Invicta, even if you know Tony Alabi as the GM, he would refer you to me. He would say, go talk to Jacqueline, give her that proposal, she'll feed me back. Now, I would talk with you, see what you have, and then of course, go back to the GM and say, this is the discussion we had, this is what I told them, and this is what I feel we should do. Then the buck now, what the final thing, the GM might decide that, okay, based on this discussion you've had, I would like to see the person who is bringing this program. Or, okay, go with what, let's go with what
whatever you recommend.
Whatever you recommend. So the question is, why did they not want to meet with the head of service first? Let us not forget that Malam Nasir El-Rufai worked with them closely in 2011 when we had the oil subsidy protest. They were together with them. 2012. Okay, I stand corrected. 2012 subsidy protests. At that time, it was what's his name again? Is it Omar, the NLC leader?
Okay,
with them closely in 2000. Omar, is it Abdul? Yes, Abdul. That name will come again. Abdul Wahab. Abdul. But at that time, Ayuba Waba was his treasurer. So that means that
they have a working relationship.
They have a working relationship. They know each other. It isn't like Malam El-Rufai does not know Ayuba Waba. So you questions start to come. Why didn't they want to meet?
And before everything, even before the strike was even suspended, there was a news that came out that the NLC, the president, and the president was put out to be wanted by the Kaduna State government, and that caused a lot of stir.
Yes.
Nonetheless,
this is not. I am not condoning, by the way. Saying what he said was right, but sometimes the relationship you've had with people
affects the bigger picture.
Right. There is the possibility that when I know what you're capable of, when I know that you're someone that I can,
strong arm or something,
or even buy over with money, I might not want to do that anymore. And so you begin to see where I am coming from.
Very true.
For me, that is why I don't think that is the most important discussion in all of this. For me, I feel that the discussion is, what is going to happen to these people when they're disengaged? Will their monies be paid early? What kind of soft landing are you going to give them?
If any.
Will they be trained? What?
And the replacement, like now, okay, fine.
Yes,
you've
and in the
go
replacement, will there be fair representation? Because some people are afraid that, look, when these people are disengaged, those who will be re-employed or those who will be absorbed it's going to be a lopsided.
Or might even be
these
worse.
kind of fears that, look, it might be from
worse.
just a certain part of the state where some people are going to come from. So these are the conversations that we'll be having. But one thing is certain, any state or any country where government is bigger than private sector, is not a country that is about to get it right.
Okay, so at this point, I just have to halt everybody so that it is Have Your Say Thursday. So I believe, Ango, you've had your say. To this point, Jacqueline, also you've had your say. It's only fair if we open up the phone lines for the listeners out there to call in and let us know what they think of the whole situation, everything that has played out here in Kaduna between Sunday, especially. Let's narrow it down to Sunday till today, now that we're talking. Okay, so to be a part of the program, the numbers to call in are 081 40989, 081 40989, or 0708 78000989. Pretty interesting one dicey angle, but we would like to hear from anybody and everybody. Hello, good morning. Let's narrow it down to Sunday till today. Now that hello, good morning. To be a part of the program, the numbers to call in are 081 40989, 081 Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear now. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, talking with Umar Sanda Bello.
Okay. So, Umar, go ahead, have your say.
Yes. My saying here is that if I could remember, there are some states that rent down some workers, more especially like Adamawa State. Hello, good morning. There are some Adamawa State have reduced some workers. This is almost getting to 2 years now. They are getting to almost 10, I think it's 10,000, something like that. Because it affected my own sister, which were the same mother, the same father with her. But such a thing did not happen in Adamawa State. There are some states. They came down to Kaduna and removed the line like Adamawa State. If I could remember again, during Adams Oshomale, we are watching the strike in TV. Which means they didn't remove the light. Our major concern is that when this thing happens, why removing the light? Why removing the water? Because it is the masses that it will affect. We are not supporting. We are not saying that they were supporting the government again. But why is it that some states are doing that? They didn't go to that state and do it. They came down to Kaduna, and the worst part, removing the light and water. This is our own major problem. And this one I've said it, okay. Right. Go and sit down with the head of service. If you sit down with the head of service, they will fit them back. But why is it what I had in Baraudico, removing children from incubator? It's very bad.
Right. Thank you.
If you are doing your own there, it will not affect us. It is not a problem. Okay. So we understand that the governor is a friend.
Okay.
But the money that Labour Congress are getting, what have they ever did to the masses or the workers with the money they are getting?
All right.
This is our major problem again.
Okay, so we've heard you. I believe you've expressed yourself properly. Jackie, I'm sure you heard his side of you. Like, okay, fine. Why you want to come up with certain moves and address this? Why is it that the populace are the ones suffering, not the government per se? We'll come back to that. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, so we've heard you. Good morning and welcome. What's your name and where you calling from? Properly, Jackie, I'm sure you heard. All right, go ahead. Have your say.
Okay, fine.
Why you want to come up with certain moves and address this? Why is it that the populace are the ones suffering, not the government?
And out of that money,
we'll come back to that. Hello, good morning.
4.something for local government.
Hello, good morning.
I want to make you know.
Good morning. Maybe welcome.
What's your name? The money goes to local government, but in another way, there's this thing they call Jack meeting.
Have your say.
In that Jack meeting, most of that money.
It's called what? Jack meeting. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm assuring you that more than 60% of that 4.something billion that he has said is coming back in terms of deduction of that security and whatever you can think of. I am just telling you that meeting with the head of service will not help it. We know the person we are talking of. He does not. I mean, I'm really sorry. I will
Go ahead.
Will he even listen to the head of service, even if he's, relating it back to him? Everybody knows, as journalists, you know the fact. But most of these things we shouldn't pretend. We know him. I am just he might not listen, or he might not. Check that particular thing that the head of service will tell him after meeting with the labor people. So please, 4.6 billion naira. I am just telling you, more than 50% of it will still go back to the government.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, still here taking your calls. Have your say Thursday. Coming to you live on Victor FM 98.9. The numbers to call in are 0814 000099 or 0708 78 00989. Those are the numbers to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you.
Yes, this is Chika from Kuningora.
Okay, all right, Chika, go ahead and have your say. Thursday.
What I want to say about this is unfortunate that we're having this clash. Our elite in this country should know better. But anytime there is a confusion like this, the masses, whom they claim they are protecting, go through serious hardship. I don't believe that the government slept with that life these 2 or 3 days.
All right, Chika, go ahead.
So what we are saying is this. The underlying issue is the issue of dialogue. And you know that the labor issue was a state issue. Our elite in this country. And the state actually, from the information we gathered, they have discussed with government representatives. But the government still remain adamant. He has decided that this is his stand and he cannot change. So they have to ask the national office to come so that they can intervene. And they cannot come to see the governor and he will refer them to somebody else, to someone else. He knows, His Excellency knows the magnitude of what is on ground. No, sometimes this is the issue, some of the problem we have with our politicians. When you come to election, you can listen to anybody. But when you become governor, he himself said it. In one of the things, one of the play out I had about it, he was saying about some of his friends. They were good people, but when they become governors, they become monsters. And this is the people we see in the blood of our leaders in Africa. Some of the problem we have with so we are saying to government that please, we must sustain the platform of dialogue. Pride cannot change anything. We must come together with the people and ensure that the government is about people. It's about people. It's not about power. It's not about power. So we are soliciting that the governor should come back from his high horse, should come down from that high horse and dialogue with these people. We are saying to government the whole labor leaders cannot be wrong. I mean, the goal of these people cannot be wrong, and you one person, you are right. Okay, some of his supporters said something. I was listening to it yesterday. They say he sacked 21,000 people, but he still employed 25,000. So what game are you playing? We are soliciting that. Like the last caller has said, the money come back to the politician. How much is a civil servant receiving? How much is a councillor receiving? How much is that commissioner receiving in their office? These people cannot be wrong, and so this is the reality that is on ground. Leadership should not be taking the people for granted. If there's need for dialogue, let there be dialogue. Why should the federal government put mouth in this thing before all of us can sit on the round table? When we have the opportunity here, because somebody feels that he cannot sit with certain people. That is not good decision of leadership. One of the quality of a good leader is for one to be flexible. Flexibility is one quality of this thing. Intelligence is not enough. We need wisdom to approach the situation of this country. You can't be laying off people like that without paying their due this thing. And you say you will not discuss.
All right. Thank you. All right.
This is not it's unacceptable.
All right. I'm sure we got you clear on that. It is unacceptable. Unacceptable. We understand that. Okay. Let's see if we can squeeze one more call before we come back here to the studio. Hello. Good morning.
Intelligence is not enough. We need wisdom to approach the situation of
Hello. Good morning.
You can't be laying off people like that without paying their dues.
Okay. Please go ahead. Your name and where you calling from.
I you say you will not
All right. Thank you. Okay. Please go ahead.
This is unacceptable.
All right. I'm sure we got you clear on that. It is unacceptable. Unacceptable. We understand that. Okay. Let's see if we can squeeze one more call before we come back here to the studio. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
So they should go to that again.
Okay. Please go ahead. Your name and where you calling from. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we're having problems picking out what exactly you're saying. I know you talked about the local government and the monies allocated, but it wasn't clear. Please be kind enough to call us back so you can have your say here on the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
My name is on the claim.
All right, please go ahead. Have your say.
I'm calling from Angwangimbia.
Hello. All right, welcome.
Okay. It is very obvious that because of governance in Kaduna State has overwhelmed the state treasury completely.
To call us back so you can
and if you look at it,
hello,
good morning. It's all brought back to bad governance.
All right, please go ahead. Have your say.
I'm calling from, if you look at Kaduna State in general, it's very obvious that the industries that were there long before now are no more, and that has affected the revenue into the state account. So it is very important that the government should begin to look at that direction. If you look at Kaduna State, in particular, the industry, how many industry has been established in the last 6 years? And that none affected the except the Olam farm that just came some few years ago. So and that is that important that so you cannot compare the cost of governance. If you look at Kaduna 10 years ago to what we are seeing presently, industry has been established. I think it is very important that the government will look inward. I see that most of these closed companies should be revived.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
So you cannot compare.
Excuse me. One more call. Hello. Good morning.
Governor.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Years ago.
All right, engineer. Quickly go ahead, please. Have your say.
You think what is happening? If we really want to make, if I'm given an administration of a state, what would generate revenue, that I will know.
Okay.
And I will put it in.
All right, thank you very much.
I don't need many convoys to know that I have arrived.
Hello, good morning.
Drop all those convoys. When you drop them, let's start from them. What are their allowances?
All right, engineer.
If you are talking about cost of government, let's drop it. You see, sometimes at the end of the day, if the common man that is on the receiving side, they will say that they are not productive. You that is productive. What do you need all those large convoys and all those largest function in the state house and other things? Are they not those things that make high cost of government? If you bring them down and you order you and your media and whatever, it won't cost something down. That is what that is. Now there are some bottle companies that have set the cost of high tax revenue to them. If those companies are still working, I think we will not be complaining what we are complaining. So please, and if our idea is bringing enough, winding up people. I don't know the first person to say that they have agree on the minimum wage. Now they say they cannot because if they collect from the federation, it goes to salary. So if it does not go to salary, what will it go? Will it go to the politicians? Do we know what is their own take-off home? Do we know what are they living there like that? Is it not from the taxpayers when they are using to travel all the journey that they are making? Is it not from the cost of the government? So they should stop telling us this. What rightly belongs to somebody should be given to the person without any excuse. I'm not impressed with all going on, the development that's going on. We know that there was a loan. They say it was the first people they are stopping from collecting them to work for Kaduna. Now that their own has come on board, they have collected the loan. So why they complain again? So please, I don't want anybody that is going forward and look back. It's not peace. So please, people should be make room to accept
Right.
you are the best. Nobody is perfect. Only one thing that is perfect. We know that there was
All right, engineer.
This country belongs to everybody. Those are the authorities, just the privilege that they are there.
All right, thank you very much, engineer, for having your say today on the program. Our time is fast spent, but before we go, we've had different views and different perspectives from different people. And Jackie, Ango, what are your thoughts before we call it for the day? All right, well, Ango went first at the beginning, so it's only right there.
Okay. For me, everyone who called had valid points. You know, the country belongs to all of us, and but I keep my own plea and my own the way I approach this is that. Since we all know that the country belongs to all of us, I mean, for every politician, they're just going to be here for a while and they'll be gone. It's important that we remember that there is no one government that is 100% good or excellent, and no one government that is 100% bad. And if we realize this, it's only nice that we do not throw away the baby with the bathwater. Sometimes a bad messenger brings a good message, and because you know that this country and this state belongs to all of us, it is only nice if we ignore some things just so that we can move forward. But you know, everyone had something great to say about the state, and for me, that's the best thing to come out of the discussion.
All right, so Ango,
yeah, from the view or say of the people, everything borders on everything borders on dialogue. Not only dialogue, but effective dialogue.
Just so that we can.
And as you could see,
but you know, everyone had something great to say about.
There is the issue of
that's the best thing
flexibility
to come out of the discussion.
It still go in tune with what I said. You carry out reform with human face. Yes. Even President Buhari, who is now the president, when he was contesting between 2003, 2007, 2011, he was somebody that was seen to be rigid. But he has to apply flexibility in his own thought on things before he was able to get the support of the people in 2015. So I implore the governor to be flexible. And like one person talked, when the politicians are campaigning, they will talk to everybody. But when they come into government, they are selective in who they talk to. So democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the moment you are elected, you are for the people and you should be flexible. And the support of the people. This issue of argument of this one said it, this one said that, we need to bring the people of the government representative and the labor people. Let's hear from them at the same time.
We work on that
to avoid the.
I'm sure you can make that happen. So let's work towards.
Yeah. Let's come together. Let's hear from both sides to avoid the gap.
No
this
problem.
One say, this one say.
No problem.
And thank goodness the federal government has called.
We can also have a representative of the.
Come a dialogue with the federal government. The truth. Who was not telling the truth.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ango, for coming by. Thank you very much, Jacqueline, for coming by as well. As well as thank you very much, everybody who's part of the program, listeners, and as well as those who called. Perspectives will be back here tomorrow, same time, same station, with Tony Alabi. I remain Morpheus, Major Idoko. Have yourself a victorious day ahead.
Come a dialogue with the federal government. Who the truth. Who was not telling the truth.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ango, for coming by. Thank you very much, Jacqueline, for coming by as well. As well as thank you very much, everybody who's a part of the program, listeners, and as well as those who called. Perspectives will be back here tomorrow, same time, same station, with Tony Alabi. I remain Morpheus, Major Idoko. Have yourself a victorious day ahead.